Okay, so there was in the previous class there was some technical problem. It happens, isn't it? Errors occur, technology. So sometimes it betrays, but then we have to understand, and my children understand, isn't it? Yes. So you're ready with that the other day when I was teaching the same lesson, it had become very difficult, and but today let us see how it will be glimpses of the past. Okay, and in the glimpses of the past, I hope you've got your books also with you. Okay, the other day I was telling you about your notebooks, children. Okay, I hope it is clear that you can use the same notebook, and you can divide it, the first part for reader and the second part for supplementary. And in the first part, modules, everything that is in modules, I think you can use those notebooks, because those modules are sometimes they even explain question answers are also done, like in first chapter, and so you can do those, or another thing in grammar, or the writing notices and all. So they have been nicely given. You don't need to write extracts. Okay, if a question is based on extract, don't write that, but you can write the question, so that afterwards when you are studying, you are going through those answers, you should know which answer for which question the answer is. Okay, so that is why writing questions will help you write the questions. Okay, and soon, maybe next week, or let us see, after we are ready with this Google app our children have downloaded, then we may check your copies. So complete your work on time, don't let it remain pending. Okay, and as soon as it is over, and complete all your modules. And completing modules means question answers and exercises and writing in English. Okay, so I hope you are doing your work. So you can use the same notebook, no need to make a separate copy for module, use the same copy, but one thin copy, whatever extra, if we do anything extra, okay, then you can do in that thin notebook. So the glimpses of the past, it's the history, isn't it? The glimpses of the past, you're studying in your history also about the Britishers. I think your teacher must have discussed. The Britishers came to India. In the beginning, they came only they had the motive for trade. But gradually, they had the motive that we have to earn wealth, more and more wealth. And that is why they came to India, and that is what they did here. So in the beginning, they got the permission from the king, and somehow we are only interested in the trade, and they formed an East India Company. And slowly afterwards, they built that fort. Again, they got the permission that we want to build the fort, and then they kept their army. And then slowly they began to increase or expand their hold over, interfering in the country and among the states. I want to show you the PPT of this map, and then we can discuss. Just 1 minute. Okay. Okay, so I hope it will be clear. Now, on the first page of your book, I hope you have got your books also ready with you. You have got your books? Yes, the first picture of the martyrs. I hope you know the meaning of martyrs. Martyrs means Shaheed. Martyrs, M-A-R-T-Y-R-S, martyrs. Okay, Shaheed. Okay, so here in the picture you find Lata Mangeshkar. This picture is of 26 January 1963. We had a war with China. In 1962, we had the war, and in that war, many soldiers were martyred. Okay, they died. They martyred or killed in this war, and a tribute. She sang this song. You must have heard in Hindi, "Ae Mere Watan Ke Logo." It's a patriotic song, and it was written by Kavi Pradeep, and the song was composed by C. Ramchandra. Okay, and here you can see She sang this at National Stadium in New Delhi. And you can see some of the prominent ones sitting there on 26 January 1963. मेरे वतन के लोगों here Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Lal Bahadur Shastri, and Indira Gandhi, also young Indira Gandhi, and there are many others who are witnessing this song. Okay, sung by her. Then next picture, just below it, you find Jawaharlal Nehru, and around you find all those who were martyred or who struggled. And there's so many here in the picture. Can you recognize? You must have, I think, in the center it is Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, then Mahatma Gandhi, Subhash Chandra Bose, then on the other side, who's this? Bahadur Shah Zafar. Bahadur Shah Zafar, Mughal king, last Mughal king, Bahadur Shah Zafar. You'll read about him in this chapter that we are going to read now. Then Bhagat Singh, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Rani Lakshmi Bai. So all these. And there are many more which we can't make out because the picture is so small. Okay. Here the first map of India. Can you see the first map of India? And on this map, this is of 1765. Then British had the hold of British was only in east, some part of the east you can see here. Okay. And like in the beginning I told you, they said they came here only for trade, and they slowly built their fort, kept army, and began to interfere in the internal affairs. Now, what helped them to expand their hold in India was the rivalry. Rivalry means dushmani, enmity. The rivalry among the Indian rulers, Indians, they were jealous of each other, and they thought that the British were going to help them in overthrowing the other king. And so they took help of the Britishers in overthrowing their neighbors, the other kings, and in this way, the British were indirectly interfering in the affairs of the country. So here the king is what is he saying? That upstart Rajah call the English merchants. They will help me to defeat him. The people had no peace due to such constant fights because they were not united. So there were a lot of battles among each other. So here you find in the next picture that these Britishers, they had more sophisticated and they planned army, and they were able to defeat the Indians. And moreover, Indians were defeated also because just now I mentioned that they did not help each other. They thought that British are overthrowing, then why should I let British overthrow that man, overthrow from his throne. But in this scenario, there were brave people also, like Tipu Sultan of Mysore. He was the king of Mysore, and he fought the British till he died in fighting, and he was not successful in defeating British because his own people went against him, betrayed him. Okay, betrayed means dhoka dena. Okay, then here in the beginning there were mixed feelings. You can see here that people are talking here. Now we thank God there is peace in the country now. No one, we will not have any more wars and looting of thugs. It is God who sent the British. Our destiny is in their hands, linked with them. Okay, then slowly they began to have doubts. The white man has killed or dethroned our kings. Some kings are not good, but after all, they were of this land. So now slowly they began to understand or they began to think whether they were the British, they were taking help of British, and it was the right thing. Now, another thing which helped Britishers, like I said, there was rivalry, then there was no unity among the people and the evil in the society. Okay, now like untouchability, है ना? Untouchability, child marriage, so all these were evils in the society. And the teachers, Indian teachers or the preachers, the religious preachers, they were also superstitious. Like this, you can see the bubble. He's saying anyone who goes or crosses the seas loses his religion. And then in the next picture, all the misery is in the world is due to women. So these were the feelings, and the Britishers laughed at them. Here you can see the picture. Britishers laughed at them, and the natives are unworthy of trust, incapable of honesty. We cannot trust them. And here below, behind him, an Indian is joining his hands and bending before British. He's saying, I am not true. I am true, Your Honor, but I am honest. True, honor. True that people are dishonest, but I am honest, Your Honor. So this is, we can say that there was no unity. Apart from the evil in the society, there was no unity. And British, they were only interested to gather more and more wealth. The condition of the people was not good. They were very poor. The farmers, they levied taxes. The Britishers levied taxes on Indians, especially farmers. Here, poor farmer, you can see they did not, even when there was famine or drought, Britishers came to collect the taxes, or these people were put into jail. The inevitable famines followed between 1822 and 1836. 15 lakh Indians died of starvation. Bhook se mar gaye. So many. And I hope you have understood till here. Yes, still the British invented methods where they could make more profits. Like, for example, they levied, Indians used to make things by hand. We can say artisans, ARTISAN. They were more of artisans. Artisans means skilled person who makes, or skilled persons who make things by hand. Okay, so everything was made by hand, whereas in British there were already factories, so they wanted market, and India was also one of their markets. They got not only raw material, raw material free, in fact, because they were levying taxes, and they made Indians grow whatever they wanted in their factories. Farmers were forced to grow cotton and or dye. DYE, dye, which they needed in the factories, whereas Indians needed food. So Indians died of poverty and starvation. Now, the goods that were made in England and they came to be sold in India had no import duties. So they might be cheaper. Now, things that are made by hand, naturally they take longer, and the things that are made in factory and they have no import duties, they'll be cheaper. So there were more market to their things or British goods, whereas artisans lost job. They had no job now. They lost their business. So this was the scenario during 1765 to 1836. Now, when I discussed about Tipu Sultan, now there were social reformers also. So among social reformers during that time, that is between 1772 to 1833, Ram Mohan Roy or Raja Ram Mohan Roy from Bengal, he was a learned man from Bengal and understood what was wrong with the country, how the people were suffering, the artisans, especially artisans and the farmers. He told his wife, you can see here in the picture, he's telling his wife, cows may be different, but the milk color of the milk is same. Color of milk is same way we may be of different religions Okay, or we have different religions, but the essence of all the religion is same. We are one. We should not be divided. All religions lead to same God. So this is what his feelings were. Okay, then yes, in the first picture, he's telling we should not despise meaning hate our culture. Let us not despise ourselves. Our ancient culture is great and we are capable of greater achievements. Superstitions have been ruining us. So he was against superstitions. He wanted people to unite and not be divided on the basis of this religion or caste. Now here he propagated science education. He said he was attracted by science and modern knowledge. He said knowledge. Here he is speaking knowledge. Here he's talking to the people. Knowledge should be practical and scientific. He started his own newspaper also. But the suspicious British stopped them in 1823. Okay. He even crossed the seas and went to England to see what made the British powerful. There he told Britishers, we accept you as rulers, but you must accept us as subjects. But yes, you must remember the responsibility a ruler owes to his subjects, that you must take care of the people and they should not suffer under you. You are the rulers. Okay, so next is oppression. Oppression means suppressing. किसी को दबाना बहुत बुरी तरह से between 1765 to 1835. It's the dates I am quoting or dates have been given for your understanding. It's not necessary that you have to remember them. Okay, just to make you understand what was going on in India, what the British were doing, and how people were reacting, and who were the reformers in the scenes. Okay, so in the another cruelty of the Britishers was the Regulation 3. And they passed Regulation 3 in 1818. Under it, an Indian could be jailed without trial in the court. If they were angry with anyone, they were offended by someone, they would send him to jail. Indians, okay. And all the time, British officers. Now, next one, another cruelty was that the British officers in India drew big salaries. They were in India, but Indians did not get, could hardly get any salary or petty salary, whereas they drew big salaries and made fortunes in private business. This we had already discussed. And now next picture. You have your book also, and here on the screen also you can see. By 1829, British was exporting British goods the worth 7 crore rupees to India. Okay, so British by 1829 they were exporting British goods worth 7 crore rupees to India. Okay, now Governor General British proposed on the company's loot while prospered. They prospered, they became richer and richer, whereas Indians, they betlik. This means then cotton. They were getting yield of cotton, but the people who were growing it were dying. Or the weavers, the cotton weavers, they used to weave. So this cloth, Indian cloth, cotton cloth was in great demand in Britain or UK and other countries also. It was in great demand. So, but the weavers who were weaving the cloth, they lived in poverty because there was tax. Either they did not have any job, they were out of business, they were dying of poverty, out of hunger, their children, their women, or they could hardly survive on the business. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. the condition of the farmers and the condition of the weavers and the artisans. Okay. Now, oppression, of course, again, the main points that we discussed here, the British continue to oppress. Okay. Now, next, now, they were of opinion that English education, till now, education in India was in which language? Sanskrit and Persian. But now these Britishers, they propose English, that English should be made compulsory in the institutions so that Indians could work for them, and they would respect them, their culture. So for that, they thought Indians should be given English education. English education produced clerks, but though the Indians got education, English education or education in English, but they could not hold higher positions. Higher positions were held only by, or the bosses or the higher positions were held only by British, whereas they were made only clerks. They produced only clerks, and British gave petty jobs under them. Incidentally, it also produced a new generation of intellectuals. But though this was inequality, but at the same time, now since they got education, English education, they were getting more education. So now thinkers, educationists and intellectuals began to grow in India. And you can see here they are talking, intellectuals. We must educate our brothers. They wanted all Indians to get educated and try to improve their material conditions also. Next one is speaking. For that, we must convey our grievances to the British Parliament. At this juncture, they did not think of overthrowing them or sending them away. They were just thinking at this stage how to improve the conditions and talk to Britishers to improve their conditions and to help Indians. Now here in this map of India is of 1856. The British had conquered the whole of India. You can see here in the beginning, in 17th century or end of 18th century, the map of India that we had seen. Only some parts of east was under them, but here almost the whole of the country was under them. And those parts which were not under them also, their interference was there. If they did not heed it to the British, they did not listen to the British, then they would overthrow or capture. So these kingdoms which were independent, they also indirectly were under them. They were also puppets of British. Okay. Now next picture. Now they are Indians. Now they were not happy. The unhappiness was brewing up, was slowly spreading among the Indians. They're talking. They cared little about the needs of Indians, and Indians are talking among each other. Our kings have become puppets, and we have lost our old jobs and lands also. They are converting our brothers. You only talk. Do something to drive them out. Now anger, not only this unhappiness, but the anger began to grow among Indians that they should do something. They should take some steps to overthrow the picture of Thomas Macaulay, who thought that Indians should be provided with English education. Now, sparks. Sparks means of course, fire has sparks, but here sparks is of anger. You can see here the first picture. This taxes continued from between, the sparks means between 1855 to 57. Taxes continued to ruin the peasants. Peasants means farmers. In Bengal, the Santals, they were the first ones to revolt against the British, who had lost their lands under new land rules, became desperate. In 1855, they rose in rebellion. Rebellion mane revolt में, and massacred, killing Europeans and their supporters alike. Okay, so in Bengal it first began in 1822. Oh, so they must have suppressed by the British Army. Now here, in the second picture also you find discontent among the people that was brewing up. So it was not only the farmers, but among the in the army also, Indian army. Indians, remember, the British had the army in India. So, but Indians were working for them. So they are talking to each other. What are they saying? The white soldier gets huge pay. Mansion means big house to live in, and servants also. While we get a pittance and slow promotion, we hardly get any salary and slow promotion. The Angrez ask us to cross the sea, which is against our religion. Who is the topiwala to abolish our old customs? We must drive the Angrez. Thousands of other sepoys revolted. They were stripped. So those who revolted were stripped of their uniform and put behind the bars, humiliated and put behind the bars, means in jail. Now next, the Englishmen had cared. Few Englishmen had cared to understand Indian customs or Indian minds. Okay, they made just fun. They were so egoistic, so superiority complex they had. They looked down upon Indians, and slowly this discontent that was brewing up began to spread. And the rumor spread that, now here rumor, because of humor, let us look at these, yes, what are they in this picture? What are they talking? Oh, proud Brahmin soldiers, do you know that the grease on the bullet you have to bite is made from the fat of cows and pigs? So cows are sacred for Hindus, whereas pigs are considered unholy by the Muslims. So this rumor that whether there was truth or not, but it slowly this spread among the soldiers that the fat of a cow and pigs was being applied to the bullet at which they had to bite. What? The white man has deceived us too. They are talking. And then the last picture. Soon chapatis were sent from village to village. The people began to unite against Britishers, and slowly groups began to be formed, and they thought, we'll now unite, we should together revolt, because already 1822 farmers had revolted against the Britishers, but it was not successful because it was only one group of people, that was farmers. Now they felt that all have to be taken together. So chapatis were sent from village to village to tell people that their emperor would want their services. The emperor means last Mughal, that is Bahadur Shah Zafar. Yes, all my village men will be ready. Yes. Similarly, lotus flower also was circulated among the Indian soldiers. Death to foreigner. The masses gave all help and shelter to the patriot. Patriot means those who love their country. So those who were fighting this war, those who, the leaders were given all the support. Now here, revolt of 1857, you can see here in the picture. And the British soldiers are being massacred or killed by the Indians. The Indians, British were till now successful here because Indians were giving them support. Now Indians had risen against them in rebellion, in revolt, and here Bahadur Shah Zafar. So they have come to Bahadur Shah Zafar, and the sepoys marched in Delhi. Long live our emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar. Here the rebellion spread wider, not only in Delhi or Meerut, it spread even wider. Many landlords had lost their lands because of the British policies. and they were sore, means bitter. They were not happy. They wanted to take revenge. The white man's rule must end. Yes, we will help you. So all united. Farmers, soldiers, artisans, landlords, all united to in this revolt. But children, this revolt was not successful because of various reasons. Because it was not well planned from beforehand, though it was being planned, but it erupted all of a sudden when the rumor spread of that fat grease or the fat of cow and pig being applied to bullets. So they refused to touch the guns and bullets, and they revolted. So it spread. It was all of a sudden. So now, but after this revolt, now this was the starting, the spark, you can say, and this was the starting of the revolt. And now people, though British were able to suppress it, but Indians now realize that if they are united, they can overthrow. If the whole country unites, it was only in the north, in some part of the north. So if the whole country unites and if it's done properly, then Britishers could be overthrown. And that is why after this we find the more rebellion and leaders. Yes, yes. Now here the fight, some of the names that have been mentioned of the fight for freedom of 1857. Many former rulers like Begum Hazrat Mahal of Lucknow was bitter. Here in the picture you can see Begum Hazrat Mahal of Lucknow. The white man had taken away my kingdom, she said. Then other name, popular leaders like Maulvi Ahmadullah of Faizabad told the people, rise brother. Here in he's collecting them. He's saying, rise brother, rise. The Angrez is ruining our land. And then here below you can see Azimullah Khan told Tatya Tope, we should have Peshwa Nana Sahib as a leader in this war of independence. The patriots pounced upon the British and fought pitched battles all over North India. Here another picture, 80-year-old Kanwar Singh of Bihar received a bullet in the wrist. He also fought, Mother Ganga, this is my last offering to you. So this is the end of this chapter. I hope you have understood. Yes? You have understood? Yes. Yes, this you started from the first picture. So go through the questions, children, and try write the answers on your own. Okay, you can write in rough if you want first before we discuss. Next time when we meet, we will I will discuss the answers with you. So be ready with the answers. You do them on your own. Okay, is it fine now? Yes. So now it's over. Yes. Bye. I hope you've enjoyed, children, and you've also understood the lesson. If you have any difficulty or any doubt, you can always ask me. Okay, in WhatsApp group.